ātmaviśrāntitṛptena nirāśena gatārtinā antaryadanubhūyete tatkathaṃ kasya kathyate. He, how and to whom can be described the inner experience of one who is desireless, who transcends all his sorrows, and who is contented with his repose in the self. We will see most part of the commentary by Chinmaya for this verse. He writes, the despair of the sage Ashtavakra rises to a screaming crescendo as he realizes more and more his inability to communicate to his brilliant student the true nature of the liberated in life, even though the sage himself is fully experiencing it. The state of perfection refuses to come within the embrace of language. The transcendental experience divine can never be forced to crystallize as an idea in the limited finite intellect. And therefore, words cannot picturize this experience, wherein the subject and the object merged into one homogeneous whole. Unquote. Here it is worth mentioning that so many times he, the one speaking to you, has himself attempted to describe his or that state of existence. Somehow God Almighty fetches some words, some description for him for the benefit of the sadhakas, but after giving the message or after describing that state, most often he smiles as he knows that he has not been able to communicate the exact state as it is. Infinite existence cannot be covered by finite language. Still, for the sake of seekers, Swami gives him the description, the words, and he just shares it everyone so that it may at any point of time, at any birth, at any stage, help any sadhaka to take it and go, and in the sadhaka's nididhyasana, go beyond the description and then taste the actual experience which is beyond the description. Here, Ashtavakra talks about desirelessness and transcending the sorrow and repose in self. Suppose he starts talking to sadhakas about the state of desirelessness or the state of having transcended sorrow permanently, then how many of the listeners, 30, 40, 50, 100, numbers of listeners as per the views for each talk, how many of them would have transcended desires, transcended attachment, transcended ego, and therefore transcended all possibilities of sorrow to actually absorb and taste and experience the nature of that divine self. We go back to Chinmaya's commentary. He says, continues, the Upanishads themselves despair in their inability to express this transcendental nature of the supreme reality. In utter despair, the Rishi cries out in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. The realm of reality is there from where the mind, along with the speech, returns disappointed. The truth transcends the mind and other equipments, and therefore these equipments are of no use in the perceptions of the self. The self-realized master, on awakening to the pure consciousness, becomes the self. Mundaka Upanishad says, Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. Knower of the Brahman becomes the Brahman. Naturally, the teacher asks, how can we describe such a master? And to whom can we describe? Who will understand the state of transcendence? Unquote. As he talks about unconditional love which is the starting and the ending point in itself, culmination in itself, the fructification in itself, with nothing, no frills attached to that love, then for the listeners, it may be possible that whatever they have heard about love in the world, whatever they have seen in the movies about love, whatever they have had experience in their own life on love, they may all be conditional. They may all be having expectations. They may all be just like a barter system where I give love to you, what you will give back to me in return. For them, how unconditional love can make any sense? The world of beings lives in this objective world. The master describes about the experience, about the state of objectless awareness. How contradictory are these two things, two states? How can the beings come to the realm of the master to experience, at least in their meditation, the state which he describes? That is why Ashtavakra says, how can I describe? In the last chapter also, before ending, he echoes the same expression where he says, "No words emanate out of me anymore." Such is the state of one who has realized self, and as per Ashtavakra in this verse, reposes in self. And wherever the sadhakas are at this point of view, time in their spiritual journey, be aware that this is the ultimate state you have to reach and exist as. Hari Om Tat Sat.